Hey everyone, in this video we're going to be talking about another method that we can use to evaluate a polydispersed sample. So this method is called either size exclusion chromatography, SEC, or gel permeability chromatography, GPC. These are the exact same thing, just a different name. Let's first break this name down and go through more in depth what it all means. So, chromatography is when we take a mixture and separate its various components by moving them, based on some characteristic. This movement will occur at different rates, and we can separate our mixture into its various components. While in size exclusion chromatography, we are separating the different size polymers, well, as the name implies, by their size. So how does this all work? Well, let's imagine that we have this really long column here. Well, at the top of our column, let's say that we have our polymer in a solvent. So our polymers are just floating around in our solvent. And if we were to examine the sample closer, we would have some polymers that are really short and some that are really long, as our sample is polydispersed, meaning that it has chains of different sizes. Now, let's talk about how this technique actually works. Well, to do this, we need to understand what is going on in our long column here. This column is packed with a material that is small and extremely porous. The idea here is that our small polymers will get trapped and spend a much longer time navigating their way through the column, as their path is extremely long compared to that of a larger polymer which cannot enter the highly porous packing material. This diagram that I drew here should make it clear to you why smaller polymers have a much longer travel path than larger polymers. It is also important to acknowledge that we do not want a packing material that will adsorb our smaller polymers. If there was a chemical interaction between the smaller polymers and the surface of our packaging material, the smaller polymers would just get stuck and never actually make their way through the column, which would not be ideal. So, our packed column here is separating our polymers strictly by their size, hence the name size exclusion chromatography. So, let's say that we have a packed column like this. We are trying to evaluate the polydispersity of our newest polymer product. We know that there are going to be three main components of our product: a small polymer, a medium-sized polymer, and a large polymer. Well, we would take our polymer sample and add it to some solvent, and this allows it to flow through our column more easily. Then, over time, we would notice that the larger polymers approach our measurement device first. Our measurement device could be a spectrophotometer, for example, and we would get an intensity peak, say something like this. Then eventually, over time, our medium polymer approaches the reader, and we would get a second peak. And the same would eventually happen for our smallest polymer. These three distinct intensity peaks can help us analyze the composition of our polymer sample, which is great not only for research and development of understanding our product, but also ensuring the quality control of our product is good. So, in summary, and in reality, we would receive a breakthrough curve for each of these components that will help us more understand our sample's composition. So, let's think of some more ways in which SEC can be used. Well, if you had a sample of an unknown composition, you could use this method to evaluate roughly how many components make up your sample. Additionally, this technique can be used to separate small impurities from larger polymers. We would run our large polymers with the small impurities through the column, and over time, the impurities would get stuck and left behind as our larger polymers worked their way out of the column, and this would leave us with a purified product in the end. Additionally, I just want to mention that it is common to see a heater around our column, as this helps decrease the viscosity of our polymer solvent and helps the solvent from becoming too sluggish within our column. Thank you for checking out this video, and I hope it helped your understanding of what size exclusion chromatography is and how it is used academically and in industry. If you enjoyed, please like, subscribe, and consider checking out our Patreon page to support the channel. However, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns about the information I provided in this video, please leave a comment down below and I will do my best to address your concerns.